On the off chance that you've been living under a rock, or you are someone like me who has just been avoiding any of the hubbub around production, we're finally starting to get our first looks at Indiana Jones, the upcoming film, and Harrison Ford's last outing as the titular character. Um, we've also got some more details around the casting and who the characters are and so on and so forth. There's also another article I'm going to be covering in a different video which talks about the de-aging technology that they're putting into play here, which is it's interesting. They've dabbled with it a little bit with the Disney Plus stuff, but I digress. This article is all about sort of what do we know about the show so far, or the film so far. It talks about how Phoebe Waller-Bridge is his goddaughter, so on and so forth. So we're going to be kind of diving into this um, at leisure today, and hopefully you enjoy. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. If you've been around my channel for any length of time, you'll know that these films inspired me immensely when I was a younger lad, and they were what got me interested in traveling and archaeology and history, and sort of started my obsession with, first and foremost, Celtic archaeology and mythology, and then beyond that into Greek mythology and archaeology and so on and so forth, and then being able to travel the world and go to all these cool places and work with different governments and tourist boards to be able to visit locations throughout Spain and Ireland and Mexico and so on and so forth. Indiana Jones was the film franchise that started it all for me. So this is, for me, it's a welcome back moment. I'm also one of the, a handful of people. A lot of people look down on the fourth Indiana Jones films, which was the one to do with Shia LaBeouf and had the alien stuff in it. I actually liked that film. I thought it was quite fun. I didn't think it was up to this, same storytelling standards of the original trilogy, but part of that is because those films have such a, you know, deeply ingrained part in my childhood and nostalgia, so it's hard to get past the nostalgia component. It's kind of like the new Star Wars films from Disney. I can look at them and appreciate them for being Star Wars, but they're never going to be as good as the original trilogy is for me. And that's how I feel about any future Indiana Jones outings. That being said, given that this is Harrison Ford's last outing as the character, we have to look at this as, hey, it's the last chance they've got. Hopefully, it's going to be good. I think it's going to be fine. I like all the films so far. I know some people, way too many people, are up in arms about the fact that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in it because they're like, oh, she's going to be bringing a woke agenda to the show. Shut the fuck up with all your woke agenda bullshit. Just enjoy a film for being a film. Please stop being a paranoid little bitch about all this woke stuff and let's just enjoy. So let's dive into this. Talks about how, I like this introduction here. By day, he's a mild-mannered archaeology professor with long-standing daddy issues, but by night, and actually also plenty of daylight hours, he's a jet-setting, whip-wielding adventurer with a yen for preservation. Henry Jones, aka Indiana, Henry Jones Jr., that is, gearing up for a fifth cinematic adventure. This is our first look, if you haven't seen these so far. This is the first look at Indiana Jones in character. We also know a little bit more about the cast of characters who are going to be joining him. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be joining as his goddaughter Helena. Now, some people will remember the previous entry with Shia LaBeouf, and they were trying to, hey, he's Indy's son, and he's going to be, taking the torch and going on, and that didn't pan out. It didn't work as well as they wanted it to. So whether or not they establish this as someone who's going to be picking up the torch and carrying it on remains to be seen. But I will say this: an Indiana Jones television series is in the works, and given the fact that Phoebe Waller-Bridge has done a lot of television, award-winning, groundbreaking television with the shows that she's been a part of as a writer, producer, actor, so on and so forth, I would put dollars down. Was it dollars to donuts? Is that the phrase? Dollars to donuts that she's going to be involved in the TV show that's up and coming. That's just my prediction. In any case, she's playing his goddaughter Helena, and Mads Mikkelson is going to be playing the villain as the various Voller. Now, there's Helena is being called a mystery and a wonder, with director James Mangold saying that she's a slippery, charming girl next door type who's also a grifter, while Harrison Ford added that she's a pioneer in ethical accounting, which doesn't really tell us that much, but it's an interesting way to describe the character. It says here that Indiana Jones 5's opening sequence will de-age Harrison Ford to the original trilogy era Indy. And Harrison Ford said it's the first time he's seen the technology do it in a way that makes it believable for him. So according to Empire, and we're going to be diving into the Empire article in another video, so stay tuned for that. The opening sequence of the movie is going to dial the clock back to 1944 in a castle swarming with Nazis. And then it's going to fly forward to 1969 when they used archival footage, which is really cool. And it says here they even pulled out the original Raiders jacket, which is really awesome. So we'll see how it pans out. Mangold said for Indiana Jones 5 as a whole, he says it became really important to me to figure out how to make this a movie about a hero at sunset. The issues I brought up about Indy's age were not things I thought were being addressed in the material being developed at the time. There were old jokes, but the material wasn't about it. To me, whatever your greatest liability, you should fly straight towards that. If you try to pretend it's not there, you end up getting stings and arrows the whole way. So, um, says the Empire look also teases the setting of the upcoming film, possibly heading to the big city. Uh-huh. Empire says Indy's going to be in a 1960s era New York, bathed in golden sunlight, whip in hand. The plot, we don't really know a lot yet, but it is taking place quite some time after the Crystal Skull. There's a lot of stuff that's happened along the way. Harrison Ford being very skeptic about things, of course, because of his age and everything else. Um, there was also the idea that Shia LaBeouf, as I mentioned, was going to come to take part as a starring role in it, but that kind of got nixed after the lukewarm reception of Crystal Skull. It's been a long time since we've seen anything out of this franchise, and for better or for worse, I miss Indiana Jones, and I wished we would have more of it. But yeah. Original screenwriter David Coep was enlisted after writing Crystal Skull. Then in 2018, he left the project, and Jonathan Kasdan came in. Obviously, son of Lawrence Kasdan, co-writer of Solo: A Star Wars Story. His draft was Eschewed of a New Turn by Dan Fogelman. I believe Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who also wrote No Time to Die and some other stuff, I believe she did. I can't remember if she did some work on this one or if it was just the James Bond film that she did some work on. But she is a brilliant writer, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings to the table here. That's why I don't get people who are just all sorts of up in arms about their fake outrage over woke agendas because it's Indiana Jones. It's always been Indiana Jones. He's always had strong female characters in his films, but it's always an Indiana Jones film at the end of the day. It's always about Indiana Jones. These sunset films are great because it's as the hero is older, and there's always going to be a passing of the torch. And whether it gets passed to her or someone else, I don't really care as long as I'm entertained. I can't wait for this film. I'm highly anticipating it. I can't wait to see what we're going to get out of this. So stick around. Hopefully you'll enjoy as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to support. Just drop a super thanks on this video. Join as a member of the Adventures Done Guild down there, and we'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned, everybody. Dun, 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 dun.